Welcome back, everybody. Getting kind of a little bit of a late start today. We were out late last night. Had a fish fry down at my brother-in-law's. Good work, John. Anyways, we're gonna bale that second field of barley. Hopefully get both balers going. Got the A-team involved. Got both girls here, Ellie and Sassy Pants. So that's what's happening on Ranching Sodak. Better get some antifreeze for the rake tractor. We put a gallon of water in there last time. I don't know where that water goes on that tractor. I don't know if we need to bring a grease gun. Oh, I'm gonna go rake some of that barley to start with. That's what's gonna happen here. We'll head over there and take a look at that stuff, see what it feels like. Chance of rain yesterday. We actually did get a tiny bit. My neighbor said we got just a little bit of rain. It was just about ready to go yesterday, and I was praying we didn't get any rain, which was kind of a bad thing to do, but I think it worked. There was rain west of us and east of us, so let's go check it out. Oh boy, smells, and it's freaking super wet. So that little bit of rain we got has got it really wet. The good news is, I remember how I closed that width of it down. It's a little bit deeper, so it kept more of the green underneath. And this crop was a little bit less mature, just by maybe a few days. Way too wet. Calm down, Matt. Well, we got to find something else to do, because this isn't anywhere close. Well, I cruised over here to see, I see Mike is starting to cut into his second cutting. I wonder if he's got any hay down. Some of his stuff he hasn't even got the first cutting done yet, but he's got a lot of hay acres. Lots of different kinds of hay too, so different markets and different customers, but that's pure alfalfa there. Looks really nice. See him out there yet? Oh, there he is, coming right over the hill. He's got virtually the same machine. It's a couple years newer than mine, 4 or 5 years newer, and it's the next model newer head. They're virtually the same machine. They did upgrade the heads a little bit. Humming right along. All right, folks, 180 switch for the day. I think I'm gonna take this gray pickup, go grab the skid steer at Jim's, bring her back home, and I'm gonna start moving some panels around, cleaning some manure in the lot. Dane's gonna be back here on Thursday. Wednesday night, we're gonna catch a bunch of cows, start working calves. So we're gonna work calves Thursday morning and then next Monday morning. So I gotta get some weeds cut down. I gotta get some panels moved around, put the hang on hold until it gets better. Oh boy, lost my chain. She's dangling. We're here though. Gotta remember to chain it down too. Just like that. Alrighty, we're gonna let the horses come up here. We'll lock them up in that front pen. And then we got to move some freestanding panels, clean all this freestanding up, kind of scoop a little bit of manure where we bedded those calves last winter. Well, I'll show you when we get down to the green gate there. But anyway, this will be where our sorting alley is going to come down. But let's get this stuff all cleaned up, all this panels picked up, and then we'll scrape and level some rut, knock down some weeds. Get all these unhooked, take all this down, and make a pen right up there for my dry cows. These actually will get set back up right off to the side over there. We'll bring the cows in. First group's gonna come from the north, so they're gonna come in here. We're gonna put them in the lake pasture. You know, it's just a couple 3 acres in the bend behind the house. And then we'll hook these panels up here like that and bring them right here and arch them right along here. So them cows will be trapped in there, and then in the morning we'll run them from there. We'll run them right up into the main lot. And then we can start pulling cows off and sorting calves with that little funnel trap, just like last year, hopefully. Catch you in a few. So if you're new, you're probably wondering, why do I monkey around with all these freestanding panels and not just build a corral? So there's probably about 4 reasons. Where we live, we can get covered up in snow certain winters, and with the freestanders I can take all my corral down. Not all, I can take a large portion of my corral down and push or clean snow out. Mud is another reason. I can move pens around to keep them out of the mud. The next reason, these things don't even really cost any money. Ever since I've bought them, they've went up in value. So the ones I bought 10 years ago are worth probably $100 more than what I paid for them. So they're not costing us anything to use. And if I want to be done, if I want to retire, if I get hurt, if I die, whatever, they can just be sold very easily with nobody's got to tear anything down. If you have been around a while, you know I like to change things up when we're working cattle. If something's not working like I thought it was going to work, or if a pen is not the right way or a gate's the wrong way, I'll just change it. I'll just change it all, you know, because cattle never change. It's just us people. The cattle, all cattle act the same. You just have to get your pens and your mentality the right way. Put these panels back now. Set up part of this wingy dig. And I think we better go check that barley. Well, this dried up pretty good just in an hour. We'll get the old telehandler over here in a couple days, push this pile, stack this thing higher yet. If you stack your manure a couple times through the summer, it keeps drying it down and drying it down. By the time fall comes around, it's a third or half as much as it started with. That'll be that plan. But the cows, we'll bring them from up here. They're up north, about up over the horizon there, maybe 3 miles. We'll bring them back through the pastures, bring them in down those gates, bring them in here, chase them in this lot back here for the night. They got water. We'll put a couple bales, rough hay out in there. And then in the morning, we'll have it set up with freestanders coming off of that post, hooked up right here, hooked up to right there. And they'll just run right back up into the main lot, and then we'll have them caught. And we'll go to work on them up there. That's what's gonna happen. Next video, a couple days from now, let's go check the hay and see if we can get raking. Sun finally peeked through the smoke. Been dealing with some pretty hazy, smoky days this last week and pretty humid, but the breeze is maybe 6-7 miles an hour and the sun is finally out. Teleport us to the barley field. Okay, boys and girls, it's go time. He's passing the kick test. Nice and green underneath. Just a tiny bit of rain moisture yet. Tiny bit, just a little cool to the touch, but everything else is cured out and dry. So let's unload this 4-wheeler. Then we'll get Ellie in the rake. We'll start baling then. All right, folks, let's let her rip. See what happens. I think I'll just skip the headlands, do some back and forth, give me a little time, and then I'll do the headlands. Then I can bail those off first. Rake, I'll skip every other round. You don't have to turn so sharp. come out here and we'll skip 2 and go over to the 3 and 4 rows. Got a little bit of an issue going here though. It's this one side. One side seems like it's a little digging in, and the other side's not picking it up all the time. Start in, you got your back end is nice and square with what you're going. Looks like a lot of stuff there, Matt. Good! Supposed to stay on the rake wheel. Come on, man. Got a small breakdown. One of these bearings, rake wheels, the bearings is out. Won't turn anymore. So we gotta see if I got enough tools here to take the dang thing off and put a new one on. Got my grinder, which is a good thing, but I don't know if I got an Allen wrench. Well, I don't know what happened. This one I cleaned it all off and it wouldn't hardly even turn. I drove over, raked over to that cutter, got the grinder, and now it spins good enough. That's good news. We'll just keep going. Not sure what the deal was there. So I'm gonna keep raking until the girls get here. But while we wait, let's go check out and see what Cordell's doing. Cordell's my oldest son. He's a civil engineer. So it could be kind of interesting for you folks. Check it out. He's not a man, he's another machine. Okay, so we're on SSU's campus. This is the student union. We were working over there on a water main project. Thought we had PVC replaced from there all the way the service line up to the building. It was determined about 200 feet that way that it was old cement pipe. So we added it to the project to put a new service line in. So this is TE Underground out of Tyler, Minnesota. They're gonna do the underground work. Some of these guys walking around are doing the locates for the underground utilities. Currently they are digging down to try to identify where the existing pipe is at so we know where we need to start, and then we'll go from there. This is their drilling machine. You'll see that later once they get to that later today. But this basically just spins and spits water and then eats a small, about a 6-inch hole first. Drill that all the way, and then you come back and drill a bigger hole and pull your pipe through. So we'll touch back later, but that's what's happening. This is called potholing. Have a vac trailer. It's quite loud. It's a big vacuum basically. They have a pressure washer and they're cleaning the dirt away and then sucking it up with the vacuum. Mark, there's a gas line here. So they did their potholing. As you can kind of see, that yellow pipe is a gas line. So they just kind of vacuum a clean little hole around it. Then they can determine where the utility's at. So that's the more efficient way of determining where utilities are at underground, if they aren't super deep. Okay, we're after lunch now. They're drilling out. Here you can see their head. He's just pushing right now. Open cut this. They found the existing line is right here. We're going to come in over top of it and then tie into it right in here. There he's got a locator, which is telling him where the head is, how deep it is, and where it's headed up or side to side. And that's where it was at there, that pink dot. So he spray paints, writes the depth down, goes along the whole length. The GIS person from SDSU will come and pick up all the points, and then they'll have it in their system where it's at. They'll push this through and then they'll pull the pipe through. This is called their reamer head. So we're putting in 8-inch water line, and that's a 14-inch hole that this will make. Pretty aggressive spikes. Once they push out with just their like 6-inch hole, they'll come through and they're gonna pop out right there in that bank and then head up just over this tunnel, and then they'll put that reamer head on and pull it back, ream a 14-inch hole, and while they're doing that, then they're gonna pull their pipe, they'll lay their pipe out, and they'll pull their pipe through. So this is the pipe here, called third lock pipe. You can see he's putting in a little piece of rubber there that locks the two together. The male ends
there's this groove. That's what that piece of rubber goes through when it comes into this groove here. So you put that into each other, and then you feed the rubber through there, and that locks it together so that they can tie it all together, lay it out, and then they'll pull it all at once. Pretty climactic. So here they got it up, over the tunnel now. I'm gonna take that end off and put this reamer on, pull the pipe over the tunnel. He is using that big reamer, pre-reaming his hole. He's gonna go back about 30 feet, pre-ream the larger hole, and then come back and tie onto the pipe. But when he does that, he's using water, which is forcing this slurry of mess out that they're sucking up with their big back trailer to try to stay ahead of that. There, his rods are only 10 foot at a time he can pull. Now they're going to set up tracer wire in order to know where your pipe is at. In the old days, you had ductile iron pipe, which is of course steel, and you would you could have a metal detector or whatever and find it. But with PVC, you can't do that. So you run tracer wire, which is a copper wire. Then you can hook onto that and locate where your pipe is at. So they're drilling and pulling back the pipe. So I don't know exactly how much water they're putting in, but they are to create their hole. And obviously that's a lot of water to try to get rid of. So sometimes it'll kind of boil out of the ground. They're about 7.5 foot deep right here, but it can't, it's easier to come up through the ground than go across the ground. So that's what they're cleaning up over there. You can see there's a little more here, so I'll have to clean this up at the end of the day. But they're going pretty good. You can see how much pipe is left. I think this is about between 250 and 300 feet. We'll see when he's all done, but it's going good.
Well, Ellie's here. Try to get a baler going. I'm gonna bale one and greaser, load up some twine, probe it, see how close we are. The other baler's coming right over the yonder way. And as you can see, we got the rock block on. So I'll give you a closer look at that and show you what's up there. You guys can check it out. Come sassy pants. The old rock block, I don't know, for a twine baler, the only problem that I saw right away is I couldn't see my tying arms if I put the thing back here, and I want to be able to see that thing moving because I don't use net wrap. And my first turn, it hits this with the tire, which I guess I was pretty well cranked. But if you use a net wrap, this can be all the way back up to here, which is fine. Otherwise, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. It keeps anything from being flung up to the tractor, so that part's good. Anyway, let's take a little getting used to. Hey folks, welcome back. Should show you my camera gal. Camera shy gal. Stay tuned folks, we'll get her. You guys want to see a tutorial on how to load a cordless grease gun? Okay, so we are empty. This thing is a spring loaded. Oh, help me. And the spring is all the way up, meaning it's pushed all this grease out. So what you're gonna want to do is you unthread this, unscrew this. This bad boy's gonna come out. Here's your old tube. Pull your spring back a little bit and come ahead. See? That's empty. All right, now go ahead and pull this all the way back. Any extra grease that I have around, I put it on my chain here while I'm waiting. All right, that's done. Tubes of grease. You're supposed to store them one way. It says on the box. You want it to be down, this down. So you take this off, stuff this in here first, Now,
Pop
take
the
this
top.
off, pop the top. Alan Jackson. I think it's a remix. It wasn't the original, was it? We'll reinsert this bad boy. So now we got that screwed back on, and now what this is going to do, we had it locked in this lock position, like so, holding the spring back. And now, once this is loose, this rod's going inside the spring, and the spring is pushing the plunger, pushing all the grease up. How do you grease a grease gun if you only have one grease gun? Let that sink in. How come that guy on Just a Few Acres, hi, I'm Pete, and he can tell dad jokes that are stupid and everybody laughs? I can't.
Well, maybe everybody's laughing.
Hi, I'm Pete.
Save us.
Hi, I'm Matt with Just a Few Problems. Not making fun of Pete. I like that channel. It's very relaxing. Pete's done a nice job of creating a YouTube following. Pete, if you're out there, give me a shout out, bud.
Gearing up the second baler.
All hydraulically ran off of this little power steering pump. It's a little damp.
Quite damp, actually. Considering the other stuff is like straw.
I don't. Now you can see right there through the cracks, the bale's on the ground, and it started to bump it. And then you just pull ahead a little bit. And you can finish your door up, and then you can go back down. $40, $24, $20.
What's our goal?
I'd like to be under 20, but sopping wet with moisture.
So how's that going to work out? Not so
The
good.
top is cured, but it's like, ugh.
Barley is not quite dry enough. Not ideal for baling, and yet definitely don't want it to get rained on. So bale one more and hope that the moisture is going down.
Middle. 19 and 18 and a 24 on the edges. And 23 in the middle. Well, we've been playing the waiting game. We tried them bales. They're too wet. I don't know. I think I'm going to go cut this 20 acres of second cutting alfalfa now because I know I can cut. I think I can cut. Hello? That's going to give us something to do then on Friday. If we work those calves on Thursday, we will have something to do on Friday. Hopefully we'll get this stuff baled tomorrow and Wednesday. This all done. I got that bigger piece over there done, so I'll just do this in the morning, and hopefully she don't rain tonight or in the morning and we can get onto that barley. Kind of bounced all over. It's pretty cool to see them boys working though. I like that as a dad, I'll tell you that. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.